Hello, hello, it's Gudmund. Welcome back, welcome to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be reading to these crafted creatures here. Making a little improv story for them to go to sleep to. We have the kakapo, far right, chihuahua, the middle, and rabbit, the left, far left. Anyways, so I'm going to be telling an improv story, yes, and hopefully get them to go to sleep, since it is getting quite late. But you can, Alex, can you focus on? Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, I might as well get started with the story. We'll probably turn off some lights to make it a little more, cozy. But they're nicely tucked away in a nice, cozy blanket, nice pillow. Gonna hopefully dream about nice things. Anyways, let me go turn off the light, one of the lights. I'll be back. Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, all right, the other one was kind of bright anyway. Anyways, all right. Anyways, let's figure out something here. All right, babies. I mean, small animals, not babies. I don't think they like being called babies, but anyways. All right. Once upon a time, deep inside the woods of some woods far away, there was some there was a bloke named Michael. Yes, there was a guy named Michael, and he lived in the woods far away. And one day he was swinging on a vine, and the vine just snapped, and he fell to the ground, and he hurt himself really badly. And you see, Michael, when he fell on an acorn. The acorn impaled him slightly into his butt cheek. It basically went in like half an inch, just in his rump. It was terrible. I mean, there was very little bleeding, but don't worry. It happens sometimes. I mean, I've fallen outside onto something one time. It was pretty bad, but it healed pretty good. So, anyways, yeah. So Michael, he fell on an acorn and it impaled him, but only on his butt cheek. And well, it's like knocking a stone out of a tire, basically. Well, you see, it was, his friends came, and he said that his bottom was hurting, and then they looked and they saw the acorn, and then one of them took a stick and just pushed on it and it flicked off, and just like that, it was fine. So, anyways, it healed. But when he had fallen, one of his teeth fell out of his mouth. Can you believe that? It was his canine tooth, just shot out. Can you believe that? And he was looking around for it because the thing is, he used that tooth to chew on nuts with. Not acorns, but like peanuts and stuff. Because he didn't really have many teeth in his mouth. He only had a canine tooth and bottom tooth. So he had chewed too many nuts when he was young, and his mother always told him not to do that. But anyways, well, now he just had one tooth, so how's he gonna chew on nuts with that? I'd have a difficult time. Look at my teeth. Oh, Alex, can you focus it? Yeah, you see that? Those are my teeth. Anyways, all right. Well, so he looked for this tooth. I mean, it was kind of a big canine tooth. I mean, the root didn't come out, just the part that showed. So he needed it, and you know, he started having to smash his nuts to eat them. He couldn't bite them anymore. It was terrible. It was awful. Anyways, so after Michael's rump healed, but he still couldn't find his tooth, he made do. He took a rock and he took some sap and he glued he glued the rock to his tooth. It didn't feel very comfortable, but it worked for the time being. Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to go get some water. My throat was a little dry. Anyways, so Michael had this tooth glued to his mouth. I mean this rock to his mouth, his canine tooth area. And his bottom was healing good, nicely. But anyways, he was missing his tooth. I'd be missing my teeth too if I had lost them and fell on an acorn, Anyways, so, can you believe what happens next? Well, Michael was walking down the road and he saw a kakapo. Can you believe that? He saw one of you there. Yep, that's right. Yep, he was. Oh, yes. He was good kakapo, just like you. Yep. But yes. It looks like we have some. Looks like the animals liked helping along with the improv. That's good. Yeah, so it was a kakapo. He was walking on the side of the road, and it was green. It was really pretty in the colors and stuff, Yep. Anyways, Michael, he was a little bit hungry, and he doesn't realize that kakapos are friends. You just forgive him, please. But he went and chased this kakapo. Oh, it's okay. At the end, it will be better, okay? Just right now, he doesn't realize you're a friend. He thinks you're food, basically. But anyways, so Michael chases this kakapo. And kakapos, they can't fly away. They're land animals, basically. The biggest parrot thing. This kakapo will probably tell you, but they need to try to go to sleep. I don't want them to be, talking too much. They're trying to go to bed. We have to keep them in a time schedule here. So, anyways, so Michael's chasing this kakapo around and around, and every time he grabbed it, a couple of feathers would go flying, but they were just loose ones. Yes, loose ones. Yep. Anyways, so Michael was getting very tired, and at one point he'd been running and stretching so many times. You know how if you have a scab on your knee and you kneel a lot, it kind of stretches it and it hurts. Well, he had the acorn imprint in his rump, and he'd been moving so much that it caused the scab to kind of shift, basically. And he was he was pounding, he was pulsating. It was pulsating in pain, basically, so he had to stop. But anyways, so yes, he stopped chasing the kakapo. And when he was done chasing it, the kakapo turned around and jumped on him, and then scratched him right on the belly. And then told him, literally said in, the language that Michael was speaking, "Excuse me, why did you chase me so much? You grabbed my tail feathers. I'm just a friend. Well, why would you do that?" Michael, he was, hold on. Gotta stretch here, hold on. Michael, he was hungry and he was delusional, basically. And, Michael realized, this kakapo was a friend and he could speak to him, if all animals could speak, or if, humans could open their ears more and hear what they have to say, we could all be friends, anyways, so Michael realized that the kakapo was his friend, and, he stopped chasing him. And Michael was saying, "I'm hungry and my stomach hurts, my butt hurts and my stomach hurts. And I really need some food. Do you know where I can find something?" And the kakapo, he brought him to his nest. And in the nest, he had a bunch of nuts. And they were already cracked. Because the kakapo, he would basically crack the nuts and then keep the nuts by his nest for a midnight snack, basically. But anyways, so while the kakapo was letting him feast on the nuts, suddenly, out of nowhere, a chihuahua, just like you, just like you, came out, barking like crazy, running up to his heels and biting them. Oh my god, he was a feisty little thing. Yeah, it was a sight to see. Michael not only had a scratch belly, imprinted acorn on his bottom, he had a bitten Achilles heel. This chihuahua did a major number on his heels, like that's for sure. Yeah, he was just as feisty as you too. Oh, yes. You've calmed down? That's good. Okay, baby. He was more feisty and he wasn't very nice. Yeah, you're a good dog, yes. You're good. Now, calm yourself down. Shut your eyes. It's time for bedtime. Alright, anyways. So, this chihuahua was just biting his heels like crazy. Trying to get him off. Even the kakapo was trying to get him off. Yes, right. Kakapo's very helpful. Yes. Anyways, hold on. All right, I'm back. Anyways, so basically this chihuahua was just going crazy on his heels, biting him, doing just terrible things, basically. But anyways, at one point, so this might be a difficulty here, but Michael, his foot was basically like, it was difficult. He basically had to kick the chihuahua, and yeah, I don't want you to be scared or, it was on the part of the chihuahua that was the least damageable, okay? So, it was not, he didn't hurt the chihuahua, basically. It was basically, this is what happened. The chihuahua had a giant cyst, like pimple, on his back of his leg. And Michael, he specifically kicked this area, 1, to get rid of the chihuahua from biting him, 2, to help the chihuahua pop this pimple, because this chihuahua looked like it was wild, basically. I mean, who is going to know, to pop the pimple? Chihuahua, Yeah, can you believe that? Giant pimple. You have on the back of your leg? Really? Oh, I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to pop it. Look, Alex, your chihuahua says he has a massive zit on the back of his leg. I think we should leave the professionals to pop that. Oh, but I mean, I'll wear gloves and stuff, but you're right. Yeah, you're right. Also, yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to pop it. It might get infected if I do that. But anyways, so me and Alex were saying we advise that you go to someone to have it popped, because I just don't want it to get infected and get even bigger and then be more poppable. You might. Some people they really just like to pop things, and you just would. If I got it infected and you went to the store and it was huge and someone saw it and they want to pop it, I'm liable. I put my hands are clean. I put my hands on it and it caused it to get bigger. So I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be, suddenly become a giant zit. Imagine this little guy right here. Imagine him being a giant ball, but it's all pus inside. Imagine that. Good. Huh? Probably turn it down with the zit talk. Oh, you're right. Anyways, where was I? Anyway, so Michael, he kicked the chihuahua right on the zit, basically popped the zit, and the chihuahua went flying. It was spectacular, amazing, honestly. But yeah, that basically, and that caused the chihuahua to change his ways. The chihuahua, he was a little bit mad all the time because of that zit. And when he was popped, well, there was, stuff went flying. It was just like a scene out of an alien movie or something, except it wasn't green slime, it was white. Anyways, that was, that was gnarly. But it was no blood or anything like that, you know. It was nothing but, I don't know. It was just really, it was not a ghastly scene, I would say, so, oof. But anyways, that was all, bad stuff that came out, that's all. Anyways, so the child went flying, and the thing is, the pocket that his zit was in, the zit was a giant pimple. Well, when it got released and all the pus came out, it turned into a parachute, basically, and he was able to float down to safety. Can you imagine that? A parachute out of your pimple sack thing, Imagine. Innovative, really, honestly. But anyways, so, and the Chihuahua's good. You like that? Oh, you like that story? Yes. They really liked it. But anyways, Michael was on his way. He was walking, his stomach was hurting, but he was at least full of nuts. He ate a bunch of cashews. Anyway, so he continued on his way, and suddenly he heard some boing, boing, boing sounds. It was coming from the woods. Oh, what was that? Well, he looked over and there was a rabbit. But yeah, just like you, there's a rabbit. It was bouncing, boing, 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 hop, hop. It was amazing. It was beautiful too. It was a beautiful rabbit. It was a white and gray rabbit. And can you believe this? It had a clock on around his neck, just like you. It's like you were in the story, basically. I mean, all three of you were in the story. But the Chihuahua, that was a different Chihuahua. It wasn't you. You'll be in the story later. Oh, but Gudmund, huh? Come here. Hold on. I have the eye masks for them to wear. Oh, you do? Yeah. I'll give them to you. Here they are. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Oh, look at this. Alex made some eye masks. They're pink, which is fine. Totally fine. Anyways, looks like the big one's for. Oh, okay. Oh, we're gonna go and put the eye masks on the babies. I mean, the big grown creatures, ready to battle the morning, but very sleepy right now. We're gonna put them over their heads, so when they're ready to pop them down, go to sleep, they will. Anyways, we'll be back with that. Hold on. All right, we're back. So the grown stuffed animals, the creatures right here, big grown stuffed creatures, getting all comfy. They've got the eye masks ready to go. We're just gonna continue on. So, anyways, so Michael had some boing boing boings, and he was a beautiful rabbit, beautiful, just like you. Had a clock on his for a necklace, and he was just bouncing around, being a rabbit, stuff like that. Well, suddenly he bounced down a hole. There was a hole in the ground, and the rabbit just disappeared. And Michael was like, I'm full. I'm slightly down on my luck. I lost my tooth. It's a rock now. It's basically grinding away at my bottom tooth. It's not doing very well. And I got a scratch on my belly. I've got imprint on my bottom of an acorn. Basically, Ice Age Squirrel was there. Basically. Not really, because it's gone. But anyways, so I've got nothing else to lose, so I'm just going to jump down this hole with the rabbit. It's got a clock. It was wearing a clock. Interesting. Well, so Michael just jumped down this hole, He was full. His belly, he could barely fit. But he jumped down this hole. He squeezed it, it like popped on the other side. Basically, it made a sound like this. You can believe that? So, anyways. So he went down this hole. And, very interesting. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry. I had to go and get some water. My voice is getting a little dry here. Anyways, so he popped down the hole, and well, it was pitch black. It was dark as can be. Oh my goodness, very scary, very scary. You know, I personally I wouldn't jump down the hole because one thing is, you know, the rabbit might try to defend himself. Exactly. Not a good look. Not very good to jump down a hole with a rabbit, I would say, because they got those crazy bumping, thumping legs of theirs. His teeth. Look at those teeth. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be bitten by that. Oh, jeez. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyways, so he jumped down there, and it became a dark, cavernous thing. Dark, cavernous place. It's very creepy, slightly, but not that creepy, really. It was good place. Cozy place, really. I mean, honestly. And why it was cozy, it was very warm down there, because it was close to a volcano. You believe that? There was a volcano down there. But it was not going to erupt. Don't worry about that. It was never going to erupt. It was just, just chilling out there, But anyways. So, and from a volcano, there was light down there as well. It was kind of an orange light. It wasn't just dark. It was a dark kind of, and then it went to brightness, Your eyes adjust, and it was fine. Anyways. So, Michael was down there, and he saw the rabbit. And the rabbit stared at him. They both stared, played eye tag, basically. And then the rabbit turned around, had a big puffy white tail. Just like you, yep, just like you. Big white one. I mean, I have a tail. It's not big and puffy, but it works all right. Keeps me balanced. Keeps me full. Keeps me focused. Anyway, it only keeps me full because, actually, I don't know why I said that. Anyways, so he decided to follow the rabbit because it bounced down this cavernous a hole, basically, a little further in. So he followed him, and he was, he was sweating quite a lot. It was like a sauna down there, it was next to the volcano. So, but that was good. He was thinking about his belly and how he was going to lose some weight, But nothing wrong with how it looked, anyways, So, but he was thinking about, I mean, he had a hard time fitting down there, a little bit. But anyways, so he continued walking after the rabbit slowly, sweating like crazy. It didn't help with his scabs, basically, because they weren't very dry. They were all wet now. But let's not think about that. They were healing, though. They were definitely healing, for sure. But anyways, he was continuing walking down this dark, volcano-lighted area. And he came upon a big opening. And can you believe this? There were mushrooms growing all over the ground. It was amazing. He was damper there. And while he was walking, sweat was coming off of his head and falling on the mushrooms, and they were dying. Can you believe that? His sweat, he really wasn't drinking much water, that I can tell you that. Yes, that's why it's important to be hydrated, okay? That's right, yes. Good job. You're keeping up, yes. Alex, you could take some notes from these guys. They drink water. You don't. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, Alex sometimes drinks water. But he forgets to. That's why he makes the bathroom stink. Anyways. Yeah. Oh. Anyways. So. And. Oh. Hold on. The Chihuahua wants. He wants his thing to go down. So I'm going to go help him, but he's getting very sleepy, and he said he'd like it to be a little darker. I'm going to go help him. Alright, we're back. Kakapo wanted it down as well, so they're both ready for sleep. But Mr. Rabbit here, he wants to hear it more because the bunny, Michael's chasing the bunny, basically. But anyways, so, Michael sees all these mushrooms, and the rabbit's just boing, boing, boing. He's hopping along, doing rabbit things. Yep. Well, finally the rabbit stops hopping and turns to Michael and says, "Michael, why have you been following me? I have to use the bathroom, and I've been trying to get away because I'm very shy. I need to use it alone. I really can't use it, I'm sorry. You're about to see a mess happen right now if you don't go away and hide." And Michael was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was interesting that you jumped down a hole, and I, just wanted to follow along. But I'll go back the other way." And the rabbit was like, "Yes, please, please. I'm about to explode." So Michael, suddenly the rabbit just like made a sound, like it farted basically. And a pebble, like a piece of like a turd came out. It was crazy. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to laugh here, but yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yes. But anyways, Michael knew that wild rabbits in the woods, they had explosive diarrhea basically. I don't want to gross you out, but they do. And so then Michael he started running back as fast as he could. And then he heard, it sounded like gunshots, basically. But it wasn't. It was explosive, flatulent sounds, basically. And it was going, and he was running. He could smell it. It was terrible. Oh, no. Shh. We gotta be quiet. He was running as fast as he could. And it was just exploding. Alex, I don't think this story's working for the rabbit. He's laughing too much. Try to talk less about farting sounds. Okay. Well, anyways, suddenly there was one last explosion. Green gas covered the chambers. And just it was crazy. But while Michael was running, he accidentally fell. His tooth, which was the rock, hit another rock on the ground. It created a spark, and that lit the methane up that was caused by the rabbit. It exploded and caused the whole volcano to erupt. Do you believe that? And it erupted and well, nobody got hurt. The rabbit was fine. See, what had happened was when it exploded, basically, the ground fell into itself, and the explosion was basically underground. But it did explode, and the rabbit went flying with the other rabbit. There was other rabbits down there, basically. And he went flying off. He was sitting on, basically it was a giant mushroom, and it protected him. And he flew out from the hole. It was a huge explosion. Volcano came everywhere. But it was, it was very beautiful. I mean, the sky lit up. Suddenly, there was can you imagine? Michael wakes up and rotisserie chickens are falling from the sky. You imagine that? Fresh rotisserie chickens. That's because when the volcano blasted off, it was a chicken farm that was, all these chickens had, basically they had escaped and they were flying over. And when the volcano hit, it basically fried them all. I mean, they were gone instantly, But it was a good thing because they were starving animals down there. And the rotisserie chickens, they fed everybody in the forest. Yep. And the rabbits were all fine. The chihuahuas were good. And the kakapos were good. And, yep. Oh. He wants to. I'm gonna go put his thing down. I'll be back. Alright. So we have to be a little more quiet. But I think the rabbit's going to sleep now. And the other ones are all sleeping soundly. But basically, the whole woods were filled with rotisserie chickens. There was even some rotisserie turkeys as well, and some ducks. And the woods became nice and peaceful after that. Even though it was peaceful all along. And Michael, he actually found his tooth. It actually stuck into the side of a sycamore tree. It was stuck in there. And how he found it was his brother was climbing a tree, the sycamore tree, and he slid down from it, and basically it like he cut himself basically, but it wasn't that deep. It was just slightly. And when he went and looked for the hard thing he thought was a nail in the tree, it was actually a tooth. So he pulled it out, showed his brother Michael, like, look at this, there's a tooth in this tree. Do you think there's a bear in this woods? And Michael's like, no, that's my tooth. It's perfect. You know? So Michael took some sap, stuck that tooth back on, and everybody lived happily ever after in the woods, full of rotisserie chickens. Well, looks like the little guys are all asleep, and it's time for us to go to sleep as well. I hope you liked this improv story time with me, Gudmund, and a little tiny bit of help from Alex. But anyways, have a good day, good night, and me and Alex will see you in the next one. Goodbye.